Okay. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty. Just a tiny bit. Um, my bit rate is supposedly low. No, we're good. We're good. Um, I see what it is. Testing, testing. I see what it is. Okay, I can hear my voice now. Okay. Okay, this is the weirdest thing. The weirdest thing. Um, the weirdest thing. Okay. I need to try something. Before we actually go live because I know we're live. Because there's people in the chat. It's just that what am I Oh, man. This is what happens when like I plan ahead in a way and the titles are all messed up and I had everything done. Um oh, I don't know if Phil wants to send me a link, maybe. Um for the time being, just hit the like button while I'm over here behind the scenes fixing everything up because that is the wrong title. We're not talking about Cody Rhodes today. We're talking about like New Japan Pro Wrestling, AEW, and stuff like that. And the stuff that's on that was on Twitter and whatnot. So if you guys can just be patient with me, I'm also drying my hair at the same time, meaning that like I have and stuff like that. I just have like my hair towel on. Um uh so if I do not see your comment at this very moment, I am so sorry. This so annoys me. I had everything set up. Listen, if anybody out there wants to become a streamer and or content creator, just know that stuff like this is completely normal. And just know that like if this doesn't happen to you, you are not a streamer. You're not a content creator. If you don't have accidents happening, not happy, happening on stream, then you're not like, you're not doing something right. Okay, you guys gotta give me a second. I really do want to just get in and talk about wrestling and talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling and stuff like that. What am I doing? Okay, that's what I'm doing. And obviously you can't see the behind the scenes stuff, but just know that I'm really like upset that I have to do this very quickly during the stream. And again, you know what? I could just pull up the chat on my phone, so that way, if someone is chatting and they need my attention, I will um I will help it out because, of course. Um. So yeah, like I said, if Phil sends me a link, he sends me a link to be on his show. Um I have no idea what topics he's gonna cover. But yeah. Thank you, Mike and Javi. What's up? Denisha, I apologize that I did not say hi to you. But I do love each and every one of you guys inside the chat right now. But again, I am working stuff behind the scenes because of course, like nothing stays. Um la, 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 um cool, cool, cool. I appreciate you. If this thing can like hurry up and save. Um so yes, as you can tell by the thumbnail, we are going to be diving into New Japan just because of like Clark Connors having his video come out to talk about AEW, and then Gabe was already there, and I'm just really like concerned about, you know, where stuff is heading, even though I understand that right now is a downtime period. And I have no problem repeating myself because I will be end up repeating myself. Uh, And of course, if you guys have questions, by all means, drop them and let me know. And I will always answer to the best of my ability. We will be going over the New Japan Cup. We'll be going over my pet peeves because there is a freaking pet peeve that pertains to evil. Um, as you can see in the picture. I think. Uh, okay, cool. I have no idea. In the meantime, while I am still doing a little tiny stuff, I will make sure that everything is all taken care of. Share out the link, bring some more friends. I would like to have like a really nice big conversation with anybody and everybody that can come on by and chat about New Japan, learn about New Japan. If you can, put it on Twitter and stuff. Yeah. So I am almost done with everything, and I'll see you guys in chat. Okay, we should be we should be good. We should be. How come my chat is not showing up? What is up with this? Okay, I just love how um everything is like working slow against me. Nothing's like really loading up. Why can I not see my chat? Okay. Let me see the chat in here. Okay. I guess I have to yeah. Listen, if you never have technical difficulties, I don't think that you could be considered a streamer or a content creator cuz man, this just makes the experience a little bit more better for anybody that joins and everybody that like comes on by. Um but yes, uh welcome to the Square Circle Podcast, and welcome to Marie underscore Shadows over on the Twitch side of things. Um, Sooner or later, I might end up switching like what I use for streaming and like uh what I do, because this is ridiculous, super ridiculous. Um, I have no idea. I guess I'm just gonna have to like start and uh it probably has to do something with the internet. That's it probably does. I have no idea what the hell is wrong with the internet at all. It probably does. Anyway, we could still continue. It's not gonna be a big hurdle or anything like that. It's just that I liked it better when I can like see it. I mean, I can still see chat, but it's on another website. So, um, cool. Thank you, Mike. Yeah. I on my end, I'm gonna agree with you too. It's just that like some things just don't load. Okay. Anyway, let's just let's just let's just do this. Um, so of course we are gonna be talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling. But before we get into New Japan Pro Wrestling, I would just like everybody to know that if you have not signed up to the Square Circle podcast on Substack, please do so, because I am starting threads. Um, so like these threads will be sent to your email, where we could chat about wrestling on a more deeper level than most. And of course, it's not about like you know, pushing ideas, forcing people to like what you like and stuff like that. It's more about like gaining a perspective and stuff. It's more about chatting, talking it up, making friends in it. Um, that's about it. I might just have to hold on. Give me a second here. Let me. Nothing wants to work today. Um, Nothing wants to work today. It's just that module that I wanted to work. Okay. So this is what we're gonna do. I am going to show you guys something. No, that's not. Let's go to Windows Capture. Okay. So this is Substack, right? These are the Substacks that I am that's the wrong one. These are the Substacks that I am subscribed to. I don't know why it looks so damn blurry. Okay. So as you can see, I already started threads on there, right? So it's just a way to have a deeper conversation. So like this is the first thing that like it was open, and that was like the live stream that I did talking about Cody. And I was just like, hey, any of my readers over there can come by the live stream and like hang out with us. And then I did this one, which is like, which Cody Rhodes are we getting after our live stream? I took it to my Substack readers, so that way we could chat about it and like the way that I distinguish Homeland Cody versus like corporate Cody. So that's in there. And then I let everybody know that we're doing the New Japan Cup and grabbing the money bag because we got to talk about that and the topics and stuff like that and whatnot. And you guys will be able to leave a reply. Just keep in mind that not everything will be available for free. Some stuff will be behind the paywall, especially the stuff that takes a little bit extra to do, such as like the tape study series, inside the locker room, maybe some Q&As that are just like, we'll like lock that down. But I just want to let you guys know that that's what's happening over at the newsletter portion of the Square Circle podcast, which is there. I didn't even tell Twitter that I was live. Yeah, the freaking chat system is broken on the YouTube. Of course it is. Of course. That's what it is. That's what it is. There is an open thread there in the Substack chat, which it should be this. Okay. That's the most easiest way to get to it. Okay. I hate that it puts love. Okay. Whoever comes on by comes on by. Oh, there goes my chat. There goes my chat on YouTube, so I don't have to worry about the Restream one. If you guys want to know, I'm using Restream at the moment. Okay. I didn't even put it in the Discord that I'm live. I'm gonna stop like pinging my Discord because of if I do, I mean I don't want to annoy them. Okay. So let's get into this. First of all, I think I have to take out the thing. Yes, I do. I gotta take out the Windows capture because if not, you guys can't see my face. That was really good timing for that because I was like, why is this still here? So first of all, I do want to say thank you guys for tuning in and stopping on by and hearing me ramble before we actually get like started. But other than that, we will be talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I think I first want to say that if anybody out there online thinks that I don't like AEW or I don't like most things or that, there's just this hate campaign which hasn't been said or thrown my way at all, which is a good thing. But I can see how people can interpret the way that my passion comes across as something as like either pushing views or not pushing views, or just being very passionate. The first thing you have to understand is that I'm from New York City. So I grew up with tough love. I grew up how to survive, and I just grew up, the way that I talk, the way that I approach things, the way that I think about things, and always be passionate about it. Always have, some type of foundation to stand on, some type of truth to speak about with all the evidence, rather than just being like, oh, I see this because of this, but then if someone asks me, well, where's the evidence for that, and I don't show it, that's a really bad thing. It's always about the being true to what you're trying to get across, to the perspective you're trying to include in everything, and the all around message of, you know, whatever you're passionate for, make sure that you are loving it to the full extent, and whatever you're passionate about, you don't lose it. Even though sometimes we can get burned out, we can definitely end up getting, hurt at the end. Maybe it all just depends. But I want all wrestling companies to succeed, all of them, because with more wrestling companies does open up a ground for more working opportunities for myself and others in the business. And that is what you really need to have, is more opportunity. And of course you will have to adjust whatever you want to get paid. But again, the more companies you have, the more opportunities to be in front of people. And then sometimes you could be a mainstay in certain companies and stuff like that. So I'm not necessarily upset about Gabe Kidd going over to AEW, or Clark Connors going over to AEW. And I love Clark. I really, really do. He's one of my favorite people to interview, and he's just a really good guy that puts on a really good show for in-ring stuff. His ability to tell stories, and he gets it. Like I would always, I was originally gonna say, like, I love this guy, but I love what he does, and I definitely support him the same way that I support Drilla Maloney. Like, he's a fantastic storyteller. And if I told you guys that he was in WWE UK, if I told you guys that he was in WWE UK, you guys probably would be like, what do you mean Drilla Maloney was there? Yeah, he was there. And then he obviously, the whole thing with WWE UK fell apart, and so he went on his way. He still, stood the course and ended up in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now he's one of the hottest acts there. And that's why I'm gonna pause it for a little bit to say, what up, Robs? Thank you for joining the chat. I'm so used to doing the Too Sweet that, doing this feels weird, but I know. Haha. Thank you for joining the chat, dude. The Man Lucha, yes, man, 2 days in a row. Because I'm starting to feel the streaming bug back, and I think that talking about New Japan and talking about how the landscape of the ecosystem for economics is changing, and all that kind of stuff needs to be said. And yeah, Clark Connor and Drilla Maloney are the shit. They are really good guys. I did interview Clark Connors, which is in my catalog, and like all day this morning, I basically went on a rampage to basically introduce people to who Clark Connors is, because I really hate the fact that people are always like, who, and I know why they do it now. Now it's become more of a thing of like, let's just do it for the sake of doing it, not know like a genuine, like, who is that? I don't know who that is. And basically, like, so I dropped my second interview with Clark Connors. That's the second time that I interviewed him in full character mode of him being 100 proof Clark Connors. And that's definitely one of my favorite ones. I do need to get him back on the show whenever he's free. However, with all of that being said, right? Uh, and this is a very good time. I'm gonna listen. Maybe I should pivot into the Bullet Club talk because Mike had brought it up. Because Bullet Club is very convoluted, and someone like me, uh, to explain it, I will try to do my very, very best. But before we get there, because that's a very good topic, um, I would just like to wrap up that little portion because I will go back to talking about Clark and Gabe and stuff. Um, I would like to say, like, on the record, I have no problem with wrestlers going out and grabbing the bag, as the young kids say, and securing bookings and stuff like that. However, the disappointment comes when you go to a company that you put on a character or facade that you don't like because of what's happening, and we can all see um what's happening on the timeline. We can see all the dirty laundry that's being aired, all the backstage drama, and like AEW has not taken accountability for any of this stuff. And then the whole Chris Charlton suspension situation that happened, you want to go work for like AEW, and it's like, what are you doing? There should be some type of loyalty there, some type of integrity there, and that's like the disappointment from my perspective that comes in. However, they want to go make money, have a one-off match, that's okay. The other thing too is that sometimes it just feels like they go there. I thought I muted my mic. Sometimes it feels like they go there and have multiple matches. Whenever they show up, they have multiple matches, and then eventually they'll sign their deal. That's how we saw what happened with Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis. That, like, during the downtime period of New Japan Pro Wrestling, which it's happening right now. New Japan Pro Wrestling is at a downtime until we get to the 53rd anniversary. It should be like 54th anniversary by now, but 53rd anniversary of New Japan Pro Wrestling and the New Japan Cup all that starts next month. So right now we're at a downtime period, so I understand that wrestlers want to get bookings in, want to get money in. I understand all that. However, you're going to work for the company that suspended your buddy Chris Charlton. Like, come on, have some integrity at that point. But I totally lost the train of thought of the other one that I was explaining. But it's just that. It's just timing. It's everything, but wrestlers can do what they want to do. It's just a disappointment that comes with the territory of certain things. Anyway, now let me get into this Bullet Club conversation because, man, I'm going to try the best that I can, okay? So, as we know, tier ranking the Bullet Club and its offshoots might be a fun activity. That might be a fun activity. But right now, let me try to explain this because I don't even understand. You know what picture can help me out with this? No, that's window capture. This picture can help me out. Okay, so as you know, right, we had Jay White as the leader, right? And he was leader for a good while, and then eventually, he got kicked out, which was a weird way of kicking him out. And the only reason why I'm starting with him is so that way the timeline could, make sense for people. However, I do have a theory out there that, well, maybe it's really not a theory, that I honestly think that Evil was the leader during the pandemic, and he has always been the leader after that. But Gato never really wanted to address it because there was that time where it was, I believe, the G1, or yeah, it should have been the G1. Where or something happened where Switchblade Jay White got upset because Evil was about to eliminate him, and that, I guess that didn't happen. And then he yelled at Gato, and Gato was like, "No, no, no, we're still good. We're still good." So it was never addressed after that little incident. So Evil and House of Torture was always a thing. They were always adjacent to Bullet Club. Honestly, if we're really gonna be honest about like the true leader of Bullet Club after like Finn Balor left, is definitely Tama Tonga. But Tama's not gonna take any credit for that. Like Tama's not really gonna say he, was a leader. But you could definitely tell that like Tama, will be the one. Anyway, so after Jay White gets kicked out and goes off to AEW, we get David Finlay as the next in line that just took it. David Finlay just took it. And then he created the Bullet Club War Dogs, which has a really nice ring to it. I guess Bullet Club War Dogs sounds like it's an offshoot of Bullet Club. But then again, what is Bullet Club nowadays? What is it nowadays? It's not House of Torture. House of Torture is not going to claim the Bullet Club name. So we have Bullet Club War Dogs, which sounds cool, but also could make you think like it's an offshoot of it. And then you have Evil and House of Torture that they could stand on their own. But like, for the sake of this, Bullet Club War Dogs to me is Bullet Club. Like if we needed to reset Bullet Club War Dogs will be the way to go, to like reset it with a whole new fresh identity and stuff. Like I would accept it, and then kick out House of Torture, because House of Torture does not need Bullet Club affiliation nowhere. Yes, Fale is the OG member at this point. However, I guess we can consider him to be a leader, but he's currently building up Bullet Club Rogue over in New Zealand. So I don't know. There's way too many sub factions within Bullet Club, and I think at this point it just needs to stop. But I do understand the idea of expanding Bullet Club and having Bullet Club into the certain different markets. But if you're not going to collectively come together for like meetings and show the meetings and basically talk about what should be the agenda for Bullet Club members and how aggressive they can get and how sneaky they can get, and then show us all the storylines that are happening between like the stuff that's happening in New Zealand, the stuff that happens in Japan, and then over here, if you want to say that Jay White's little group with the Bang Bang Gang, which is supposed to be a spinoff of like Bullet Club as well, just put everything together, have one common mission for what Bullet Club stands for, what Bullet Club means. But that's like the best of my ability to explain the whole thing of like, is Bullet Club War Dogs the same as Bullet Club, or is it an offshoot? If anything, House of Torture is an offshoot just because it was the way it is. The pandemic like fucked everything up, and it was like, let's put House of Torture into Bullet Club just because. But I really do think that like Evil is the leader, but I just hate the fact, right? So we have this picture in the background. I just hate the fact that New Japan started a story where House of Torture came down, attacked Gabe Kidd after his match with Yoda Tsuji, and even attacked Tsuji, but tells Gabe that War Dogs is out of Bullet Club and, blah, 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 like kicking them out. And I'm just like, why did it stop? How come Gabe Kidd is not really upset with Evil? How come he's not making videos shit talking Evil? How come Clark Connors is not shit talking Evil after the fact? Like, I get it, there are backstage comments. There are backstage comments and all that, but that doesn't help progress a story that could be big, and it'll be better than, like, well, I was gonna say better than going to AEW, but you know, it's just, it's one of those things, man. Like, why is there no social media stuff happening with the whole situation with House of Torture and Bullet Club War Dogs? Not even a word from David Finlay, and David Finlay is supposed to be coming back at the New Japan Cup, and it's like, you guys are losing so much. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Would equity be the right word for this? I don't really think it is. But they're losing so much storytelling because they're not capitalizing on stuff. They're like, you know, they're not really capitalizing on stuff. And wrestlers that I see on the indies and that they pop up on my feed, I basically see that they're doing a great job in, like, working the crowd, the crowd, which is the internet, the IWC, with their videos and stuff. And it's like, they should do this too. But I didn't understand. Is House of Torture now something apart from the BC, or have they kicked out the War Dogs from BC? That's exactly what we should be trying to figure out. Exactly what we should try to be figuring out. Like, I do know that somebody is eventually going to tell me that, like, David Finlay was the first person to, you know, say some shit about Evil and make sure that Evil was in his place. Which, yeah, he did do that. David Finlay did, like, you know, was a little aggressive with it, with Evil and House of Torture, and Evil took some, you know, some time to himself, because there was that little weird little period thing going on where in kayfabe, he's like, you know, I'm leaving New Japan. And it's like, it's kayfabe. Like, come on, where is Evil gonna go? Noah is not gonna sign Evil. What else we have out there? Like, no other company is gonna sign Evil. That's just gonna be really, really funny. Like, nobody else is gonna you know, sign Evil. Anyway, so, like, I guess Evil made the first move in this whole story situation. So, you know, it is what it is. However, it's just one of those stupid things of, like, you had something good, don't lose the momentum. And this is something that New Japan Pro Wrestling has been doing ever since they have their partnership with AEW, is that they are losing their momentum on the stories that are so simple to tell. I heard a bunch of contracts ran out or whatnot, and maybe it was Gabe or Clark. I honestly do not like to get into contract conversation, because I honestly believe and feel that it is a right to privacy for their contracts. Even when I, like, am working shows and stuff like that, if you know, contract conversations come up, like, it's none of my business unless, like, I have a contract and stuff like that, and, you know, I negotiate my own contract. But I do not like talking about it, because I just think it's a right to privacy for those guys. But if that's what you heard, that's what you heard. It could be that, it could be a number of things. I just know that if we stick to what's currently happening, New Japan is at a downtime before we get into New Japan Cup. We definitely need to know what David Finlay thinks, and that's why Evil kicked them out, because they aren't with New Japan anymore. That could make some sense. But I mean, if we look at the history of how people get kicked out of New Japan, that's mostly, like, what happens. Unless you're Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis. And unless, I was going to say Ospreay, but I don't think Ospreay counts in this conversation about that. Because, well, they told Ospreay to sit his ass home because he signed the AEW contract in the AEW ring while he was still under New Japan, and that's a fucking disrespect, and no one has told him that. I would let him know if he ever needs me to let him know. But yeah, to me, that's a disrespect. So maybe he could be in this conversation about like people who got kicked out of New Japan and the pattern behind it of like, if they get kicked out, their contract might be up. But then again, I don't like talking about contracts because again, it's a right to privacy. It's just one of those things. Now, if they come out in an interview and talk about their contract, that's something different because it's an interview, and I'm not looking for headlines or clicks or clout or anything like that, like the dirt sheets. War Dog's gonna go face. Nah, man. War Dog's like War Dogs. Listen, I love War Dogs. Okay, War Dogs to go face. I don't know. I will keep them like, I'll keep them in the middle, but I love War Dogs. I love these guys. House of Tear Tire moves on. House of Tear Tire moves on. Yeah, definitely. I would want House of Torture to move on. They should dump the Bullet Club name, just old school shirts like NWO, keep the brand, no actual faction. Well, then how is New Japan Pro Wrestling gonna make money off of Bullet Club then? Cause they own it, you know. They own it. Tony Khan is eating New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's bringing them down with his ship and his messed up. It is, man. It is. It bothers the hell out of me that I will be the only person that I see, because I don't know about anybody else. I mean, I know other people would also be on my side and also support while I voice my concerns about New Japan Pro Wrestling and do it on a consistent basis. But like, man, is Tony Khan like really just eating up New Japan? And you know, I get it. I get that you know, money is definitely an issue. I get that the yen is down. I get that. And then sometimes they're not, you know, whatever the money situation is, I totally get that. It's just one of those things of like, wrestlers need to learn how to invest in stuff that can, in like passive income things, to make sure that their money is growing and they always have something in the bank rather than trying to rely on who's going to pay them the most money. I really do think wrestlers got to start like really investing in themselves, because sometimes the stories that you hear about how much they make for like, well, when I say make, I mean for like their gear, because I'm talking about like the outfits that they create, the people that they pay for. If they want a camera crew around them to like vlog and stuff, they have to pay them. They just have to learn how to invest in like in stocks and get a portfolio and do something passive on the side, so that way money could keep coming in if like a promoter stiffs them on pay, or if it wasn't the same amount like last month or whatever the case may be. And I really do think that wrestlers got to start doing that, because then it'll help them out in the long run. Gonna happen naturally. Yeah, I know that wrestlers eventually turn babyface. It's just, I'm just a little like, War Dogs are the shit, man. War Dogs make me feel like, yes, we could go do it, like charge and all that kind of stuff. I think it's because I'm an Aries and I'm just like a very fiery person, and I'm just like, yeah, let's go. You know, I'll be with them. That's just me. Nah, I don't think so. You got Sonata turning heel a few months ago, and now you are making War Dogs face. You know, I forgot that Sonata is in War Dogs. Oh my God, Sonata, man. Sonata. Like, I totally forgot Sonata was in War Dogs. Poor guy. The longer the Bullet Club name stays around as an actual active faction, the more it gets diluted. Like, who cares about chaos? I just think that's, man. Listen, I love the Bullet Club name. Okay, I love the Bullet Club name the same way that I enjoyed NWO. I totally understand that like the more the name stays around, it's gonna get diluted because we could look towards chaos for this. Chaos is still around, but nobody really cares about chaos because Okada left, but Okada wasn't doing shit when he's supposed to be the leader of chaos. So I don't know, but I just feel like I want to hold on to something. I want to hold on to Bullet Club. It needs to be treated like how WWE treats NWO. Sell the church talk about how great it was, but the War Dogs and a House of Torture should just go do their own thing, or dogs can keep the font because everybody knows where they came from and why they exist. But I think they'll naturally go face if you allow them because everyone loves Maloney, Clark, and Kidd, and David Finlay is pretty fucking cool. Ah, you got a point. You got a point, the man Lucha. You got a point. Yo, G Coalition, what's up? Thank you for joining the chat. Thank you for being here. Anderson and Gallows have started doing that. They're pretty big on crypto nowadays. Oh. I didn't even know they were into I didn't know they were into crypto. TK can offer more than other companies can, and while it's cool to get the bag, TK is making it where he is just collecting wrestlers like action figures and not doing anything with them. That's 100%, man. Haha. So the shirts, not the church. Oh yeah, like listen, when I was reading that, my brain actually did read it as like sell the merch, but then I stopped and I was like, sell the church. Yes, we all forgot about Sonata, unfortunately. Well, yep. Also, even Ishimori is in War Dogs. The entire core Bullet Club is currently in War Dogs, besides maybe Chase. We don't talk about Chase on this live stream or this channel. But you're totally right. Yeah. The one guy that needs to be out from New Japan Pro Wrestling. But he's too much of a loyal guy. See, War Dogs are the shit. They already faced Kidd is pushing it over the top. Yeah. I did not expect us to have a really good like full-blown conversation about Bullet Club and War Dogs and stuff like that. And I do hope that Mike gains some knowledge about the whole Bullet Club situation, because Bullet Club right now is so messy that even I can't be like, this is what it is. Everything that I have said and how choppy it is and the great input from Demand Lucha, and I know that like G Coalition will drop some knowledge and some bombs of like knowledge of Bullet Club War Dogs. Not anything else. It's just one of those things of like, Bullet Club is messy. New Japan Pro Wrestling is messy. And I was having this conversation earlier online on Twitter. If you guys are not following me on Twitter, @Marie_Shadows. I was having this conversation where I was mentioning that the NJPW Strong shows is what saved New Japan Pro Wrestling, not only during the pandemic, but also allowing the North American fan base, the US fan base, to get used to the New Japan wrestlers, even though most of them were American. And I think that because of how the shows ended and the backstage nonsense, it's really not backstage nonsense of how it ended, but it's just one of those things of like, it's stupid that they could have like hired somebody else, and somebody else was leaving to do those duties and continue on with the New Japan Strong shows. But once the weekly shows ended and now all we get are the monthly pay-per-views, it's not doing as well as it should. While yes, in some arenas, depending on where they go, they do sell out, but the one time that they decide to branch out all the way to Boston to a place in Boston. I forgot exactly where it was. The one time that they decided to branch out, it didn't do that well because they did not market to the Boston crowd. The Boston area is filled with other wrestling companies over there. You have I was gonna say Wrestling Open, but Wrestling Open is not in Boston. It's at the White Eagle. I think the White Eagle is in Boston. Somebody help me out in chat. Or are they're part of New England? But like New Japan, they're not doing enough marketing over there to Boston. So like when they went there, their venue wasn't as full. People weren't like really excited. And it just felt like, they went to a different wrestling show. But New Japan does very well in Cali. New Japan does very well in Chicago because they got the hometown guy, the hero, Mustafa Ali. And I don't know where else they do good at. But the idea is that the New Japan Strong shows helped the pay-per-view and helped the company all around because fans were getting excited. Fans were realizing who these wrestlers were. And it could definitely be a good launching pad to go to other companies and showcase their work. Because if people in the industry, especially people that I've come across and network with and had a conversation with, so the important people in the wrestling industry that has other connections. So that's the best that I can say. So, damn, why did I lose my thought? Okay, hold on. I don't know why my brain wants to say, I don't know why my brain wants to say that, you would think that the people that I network with and the connections that I've made while I'm working, the indies and like working in the back and stuff like that, you would think that they would know their audience. I don't know why today it's like I'm losing certain trains of thought when I'm like on a roll. Let me just go to chat for a bit and let's see the conversation over in chat. I think it's because I'm really worked up about the fact of like the IWC being so inconsiderate of New Japan Pro Wrestling and being like AEW is everything and I must defend AEW. And who's Gabe Kidd? Who's Clark Connors? I don't know any of these guys. Or the other flip side of the conversation of like, oh my God, Clark Connors is coming to AEW. Does that mean he's bringing Thekla along? And it's like, if you guys never cared about New Japan Pro Wrestling, I could definitely see it, because you should be supporting the other streaming networks other than being like, hey AEW, I need you to bring in these wrestlers for me and me alone. The AEW portion of the IWC are so selfish, and I've said this before, they are so selfish in the demands that they want, that they don't give a shit about the overall ecosystem of the wrestling business, to the fact of like, you're supposed to be supporting the other companies too, to the best of your ability. Now that does not mean to enjoy all wrestling. That just means that, if your favorites are coming over to a company that you also enjoy, why are you not helping out and supporting and loving the company they're coming from? But you're telling Tony Khan, hey, I need you to bring in these guys because I'm not going to support anybody else other than AEW. And woohoo! You bought some more New Japan wrestlers? Amazing! Great! Now I don't have to support New Japan Pro Wrestling with a subscription. And that tanks New Japan Pro Wrestling as well. It takes a village to build something amazing, and that's what New Japan has done for all the years. But for some reason, in the fan base of the New Japan Pro Wrestling community, I don't know where that support is anymore. I don't know. I don't even know if I should be like, hey, let's talk about it. How can we lend our voices to New Japan Pro Wrestling so that way they can notice like, hey, it needs some change. It needs a fresh coat of paint. on New Japan Pro Wrestling and get back to the fundamentals of growing and making stories and not being as slow as they are. I don't understand how slow they've become to create things. And when I say things, I mean like good story, consistent story, not have AEW pop up whenever they want to, not have AEW have New Japan wrestlers lose. Ooh, excuse me. Over in like Collision and Rampage. And well, Rampage is no longer, but you get the idea. I know that Gabe Kidd like won his match, but the point still stands of like New Japan got to get back to New Japan, and AEW has to respect that. There is respect going one way, and there is no respect going the other way. No matter how many times they tell you that Tony Khan loves New Japan and Tony Khan loves Japan and, you know, this and that. And, you know, he's very respectful. Where is it? If it was there, it'll be there. It'll show. And then also getting away from the dirt sheets is also a good possibility. And if they did, then a lot more truth will come out. Okay, let me just read the comments. Let me take a break, read the comments. Yes, Kenta signed with Pro Wrestling Noah. And then Kenta is also part of MLW. Listen, I will one day have a picture with Kenta. I will talk with Kenta and I will pick this guy's brain. I could definitely pick Suzuki's brain. I've been in the vicinity of Suzuki twice now. And the second time around, I would just leave him be. I don't go up to Suzuki. I wish I could. I don't go up to Suzuki. I went up to Kojima once to like shake his hand, and that's about it. But yeah, maybe the next time that MOW comes around and I, you know, go work over there, I'll say what's up to Suzuki and introduce myself. For the meantime, Suzuki's just mad cool. He's mad cool. I guess what dogs hoots actually break off if they want to be called BC. Yeah, Kenta. I don't know if Kenta's part of War Dogs. Did I read that right? Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, Fale is leading the charge for Rogue Army. It's funny because the only stable that make things right and without betrayals was Suzuki-gun. Yeah, that's funny. No, I do not have any updates on Doki. I have no idea, dude. Like, they have not said a word about Doki. I hope he's okay though. Like, I really think that he dislocated his elbow or something. Suzuki-gun's legacy is basically split between Just Five Guys and TMDK. The only loyal stable. That's true. TMDK is definitely loyal, and Just Five Guys. Well, now it's just Four Guys. Is loyal as well. Who decided on that name? Like, come on, guys. Just Four Guys is awful. I almost thought it was a joke at first. So Sonata joined. Listen, when I heard Just Five Guys, I was just like, oh God, no. Who did this? I was the same way too, man. Same way. That selfishness is part of why I called on the AEW call. It is, dude. It really is. It's so sad. By the way, I know I have been like talking a lot and whatnot and reading your comments in the live chats, but if you guys would please hit that like button, that would be amazing. The more likes we get on the live stream over here at youtube.com/Square Circle Podcasts, basically it goes into the algorithm of New Japan Pro Wrestling. My brain is currently at 100 miles per hour. I don't know why. I do not know why. But yes, if you hit that like button, it pushes it into the YouTube algorithm and it gets more people in here and we get to talk about it and stuff like that. Let me take a water break while you guys chat it up in the chat. So that's that. That's the picture that I wanted to basically like showcase because man, um again, like I just really want New Japan to get back to where they once were, right? I'm not asking for New Japan to be perfect. There is no way a wrestling company could be perfect. I really appreciate you guys in the comments, man. I really do. I appreciate that, like, you know, maybe somebody from New Japan will see these videos. I still tell myself that I should learn Japanese. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. And I appreciate that, G. It's the New Japan passion. That's all it is. There's just something special about New Japan. That's all it is. It's something special about New Japan that I can't let go because it does tell a different kind of a story when it comes to the overall loveness. That's not a word, but I guess we could be Shakespeare on here. But it speaks to the overall love of what is professional wrestling, because if we look at it across the board between WWE and what they give us, and WWE gives us cinema. There is no question about it. WWE has always given us cinema, and cinema is a combination of, like, you know, Broadway theater with the combat, with the athleticism, and like storytelling weaved in a very meticulous way. So if you guys want to know, earlier in the stream I talked about how I have a wrestling newsletter over at Substack, and I want to utilize the Substack chat, which is a private chat in a way. Even though I do have a Discord, I want to try to get more active over on the Substack side of things because I have a lot more readers that signed up for the Substack for free. And in that private chat, I did talk about like Cody Rhodes and The Rock and our last live stream. However, I do want to talk about this idea that I've seen like thrown around, which is very stupid. It is the idea that WWE has been trying for years. I have no idea what the fuck that means. So um I want to explore that because only people that are part of the AEW cult and don't like WWE, and their reasoning is that I've tried. I've tried watching the PLEs. I can't watch 20-minute matches, will then say that WWE has been trying for years. And I'm like, I don't know what that means, and I want to explore it. And that will be a thread inside the Substack that I want to just talk about and have wrestling fans talk about it with me. Again, I thought I like muted my mic. But yeah, that's another random thing that's on my mind. I guess I should probably name this like the random thing because I didn't even get to the New Japan Cup. But I just want New Japan to get back to its foundation. No wrestling company is perfect. It's never going to be perfect. I don't want New Japan to be perfect. I want New Japan to start making sense. Because the moment that wrestling doesn't make sense, it just goes everywhere, and that's not helpful for the fans and for the wallet that the fans have. So, like, why would fans buy the merchandise that AEW produces when every time they're like, hey, new merch dropped, and you're like, who's gonna wear this shit? Who's gonna wear the AEW merchandise stuff? You know what? I'm just gonna. This is gonna be a free for all thing. Just somebody remind me we gotta talk about the New Japan Cup, but this is gonna be a free for all thing because that's what I want to do. It. Oh, it's Shop AEW, not AEW Shop. Um, again, like I said in the beginning, that like this is by no means a like me hating on them or whatever, but it's more like get your shit together. Oh, I was like, can I not show this? They blocked the. Are you are you serious right now? Oh, what? Oh, that was okay. Never mind. I thought something else was happening. I thought something else was happening. Okay. Um, and yes, Gato should take notes. I've been tagging Gato. I've been tagging Tanahashi. I've been tagging Kadani from time to time. Be like, guys, you got to pay attention. Listen, if no one else in the New Japan community that talks about New Japan Pro Wrestling is not doing that and doesn't have the same passion as me, then oh well, I'll do it. I'm okay with that. Um, anyway, um, WWE wouldn't be breaking all these records if they weren't doing something right, plain and simple. Exactly. Exactly. Anyway, let's look at the shop AEW. And no, this is not an endorsement for go get your AEW merch. If you want to buy AEW merch because you're watching this live stream of me being very, very passionate about New Japan, get the fuck away from AEW, then by all means go buy some AEW merch. Um I try to be funny too. Um, they're part of YouTunes. YouTunes. Oh my god! Wow, this is new. I didn't know that. How come they didn't put this up on the marketing? But yet then we'll be like, yo, come get this Orange Cassidy merch, which I have no idea what this is. This to me seems like it's very suggestive. Very, very, very suggestive. I don't know, dude. Like it just seems very, very, very suggestive. Um but it's AEW and YouTunes. Like YouTunes is used for like content creators such as cartoons. Cartoons like has his like own little plushy kind of thing. Dashi did one too. I think Corey Kenshin might have done one as well. Those are the guys that I watch from time to time. Um, but like we have a Danhausen shirt. Like more Danhausen has more t-shirts than being on AEW programming, and that's sort of like the oddest shit ever. I can understand if like he's retired and has like a Legends deal for like AEW to get like all like to have more merchandise and whatnot, but I mean he's still active and he has brand new t-shirts all the time. Um this is definitely not an endorsement for AEW stuff. Yeah, I know. This is why I'm going through it. Uh this is why I'm just going through it. Um so whenever I like to shop, right? I like uh I like my sweaters. Uh we got more YouTunes. All right, let's see what we have here. We got an MJF one. Like who's buying an MJF one? The Tony Storm one looks cute. I mean, I can see people buying this. This, it's Orange Cassidy. And then Chris Jericho, you gotta preserve Chris Jericho. You gotta preserve. And then of course you have Swerve Strickland. I'm not a fan of Swerve. Um we got women's merch too. Like what is this? I can't even see this. The red t-shirt is fine. The white letters are fine. I I mean, if I didn't read this here, like if I didn't read this, I wouldn't know what the fuck this is. So it's Action Andretti and Leo Rush. But this is in black. Outline it in white to pop out. Outline it in white. And then it looks so bad because it's cut off here, so it looks like it's just pressed on. Like they couldn't do some type of airbrush kind of effect to not make it look so straight. Like, oh God. I swear, dude. Tag Charleston, he got pulled. Suspension is a work because he's so busy with other shit. Whoa. How did we get to Chris Charlton? Um, Listen, I would have rather them be upfront about anything related to Chris Charlton. Because that's just a way to do things. It was unnecessary to get to be like, oh, he's suspended indefinitely just because he got busy with other shit. If he got busy with other shit, I understand. Life is life. Life comes at you pretty fast. But if it's just gonna be like, oh, he had other commitments, just say that. He's taking some time off. He has other commitments. He'll be back. This is like just thrown onto a t-shirt. This reminds me of like the early days of like indie wrestling where like wrestlers would do this. Like the early days. Um who is this? If someone could tell me. Who is the frat house? Why is this a thing? Who is this? Like this is on here, but it doesn't tell me what wrestler or wrestlers this is part of. So who is the frat house? Uh this I need to know what AEW fan is spending $29.99 plus tax plus shipping on a white t-shirt that you can get in a pack at your local store for at least like 10 bucks, 10 to 15 bucks. But who is buying this? Can somebody please tell me? Do I have any AEW fans in the chat? Like who is buying that white shirt that says Death Riders on it? Even holograms merchandise sucks. The sight to see. Oh, that's for my God. Um, these t-shirts, man. We have a one-hit wonder shirt because it's a Jeff Jarrett shirt. What? I mean, that makes sense, but shit, no one's gonna know that. If you go and wear, if you go and wear this shirt, one-hit wonder, like people are going to, um, people are going to be like singing one-hit wonder songs to you. Um, and this merch still looks worse than how he tried to sully New Japan. You were talking about tagging people, and I suggest you should tag Charlton because he speaks English. Oh. Oh. Okay, it wasn't fully clear. Okay, got it. Uh, I don't know if Chris Charlton likes me or not. That's why I haven't tagged him in any of my free Chris Charlton stuff or talking about Chris Charlton or like bringing that up at the point. So I'll take it under consideration of tagging him. Um, but I also end up putting out some Japanese tweets as well. Uh, Yeah, the Ricochet shirt, man. Like, the frat house is Ring of Honor, and it's Preston Vance, Cole Carter, and Griff Garrison. They just let Jacked Jameson into it. I have no idea who Jack Jameson is, and like for some reason, my brain read it as Jacket Jameson. The frat house. Like, see, if I didn't ask the question, nobody would know. So that merchandise is not selling. Merchandise 101, like label everything, man. Label everything. By the way, what person is wearing this shirt outside that says too much man, even though it's Big Bill, aka NZO's tag partner. You can't teach that. And then SAWFT soft. Who's wearing the too much man shirt outside? As a man who is in my chat section, are you wearing this shirt? Like, no man is going to be wearing this shirt. No woman is going to be wearing that shirt either. Oh, you had to look it up? Big Cass. There we go. Big Cass. Big Cass. Okay, let's quickly talk about the Hounds of Hell thing. I really do think that it is a cheap knockoff of Bullet Club War Dogs. I really do think so. I was like, man, you couldn't come up with any other name. But it has to be something similar to Bullet Club War Dogs because Bullet Club War Dogs is the best. And way more coordinated than the Hounds of Hell. Like, why? This design could have been way better though. Could have been way better. Nobody uses like this font anymore. It could have been something different. It does have a Metallica, like those kind of bands, kind of old school kind of feel to it. If you ride like a Harley Davidson, it has that kind of feel to it. But other than that, like, I just think that Hounds of Hell is just the Temu version of Bullet Club War Dogs. Um, we got Home Office. What they got for calendars? They're missing out on like some really hot girl bikini calendars for the summer. That would make a lot of money. Just saying. What? Oh yeah, the furniture, because I think they're partnered with Zip Chair, which is like, I don't know. I find it to be lame, even though like content creators are partnered with Zip Chair. But like, who has this in their house? Does anybody have this in their house? What's my chat saying? You have all those shirts? I forgot that he has a metal band. No one talks about it, dude. Like, I try to remember everything, but I can't. um what is Top Road Tuesday? Okay. Um the Assassin's Creed Shadows Ill. We will be here for a couple more hours if I talk about this. I'm not gonna touch it, but just know Ill. And just know that I've been a huge fan of Assassin's Creed by all the merch, by all the games, by, beat the games and all that shit, and just Ill for right now. Um, but yeah, we'll be here for a couple more hours if I get into it. Um, this looks like it's Finn Balor rather than Adam Copeland, just because of how it's painted. What is this? That is a unique symbol here. You should definitely like have it. Like this is a unique symbol. And you want to know what's the worst thing too is that these guys don't put any kind of you know, description of what the shirt is, what wrestler the shirt has, like, you know, who is this for? They're missing a lot of shit because they bank on fans being like, oh my god, they're my favorite wrestler. Let me just go buy it and buy it blindly. But if someone who isn't a fan of wrestling and don't really like you know, mess with it, but they have to buy a gift for somebody as like a surprise gift and they go on AEW, what how are they going to figure out what's what if they, you know, don't want to, you know, spoil the gift for somebody? Like how would they know? All right, that's enough for AEW. Uh Bullet Club War Dogs and Braun Breaker 2, Brody King and them are too late in the dog party. Even Snoop made it before they did. Oh my god. Okay. Um I would love to say thank you for all the likes. Again, if you have not given it a like, please give this live stream a like. Uh the more likes you give it, the more it goes into the algorithm. Let me see. Heart Syndicate reminds me a lot of a Bloodline shirt. Oh yeah, now you can see my face. Uh, Now I just have to remember what else we gotta talk about because we did a little bit of AEW, we did New Japan Pro Wrestling, we gotta do the New Japan Cup and talk about it. Um, and then yeah, uh, so this is what I'm gonna do. That's nope. I was gonna talk about Gato's tweets though, because like you can tell this guy sees the writing on the wall. Um, la, la, la. I'm just gonna put this up, and then I'm gonna take a quick break, and I will be back. I'm gonna make myself smaller, even though. All right, guys, I will be right back. Hit that follow button, share it out, get more people in here. We're talking about the New Japan Cup, but I'll be right back. Knocking over water bottles as I go. Okay, I'm back. Um, so Javi is going with Ishii. Ishii is never winning one of these things. That's just how it is. Even though there is like new hope because Goto is our IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. He defeated Zack Sabre Jr. at the New Beginning. So maybe anything is possible, but I mean, we all know realistically that Ishii is not winning. I also do not like the fact that what do you call it? Ishii is fighting Gabe Kidd for the NJPW Strong title. It should be for the title on the line. But I'm like, bro, I think what do you call it? Ishii needs some time off because he has been going from 0 to 100. And it is like, what the fuck? 0 to 100 and losing. I do want to, I probably should talk about like Gato's tweets before we get into the New Japan Cup. Like when I what do you call it? When I review the show, and Ishii was on the show, I will make sure to get over Ishii's personality of that he is that stone pit bull and that he is that that killer and whatnot, and there's no really like, he looks at you with daggers in his eyes. Looks at you with daggers. But now I just can't. I can't. There's his whole entire image is done because he kept losing on AEW just for the bag. And I get it. People need money. I totally get it. But also, like, make sure you understand that this is gonna be your legacy. And, there's more to it than anything else. There really is. Okay. So before we get into the New Japan Cup, I know that's what we want to do. But this tweet of Gato and whatever Gato tweets out, I'm just like, yo, this guy says some pretty good stuff, some nice wisdoms of like little golden nuggets that I like. And I'm like, bro, he sees the writing on the wall. Like, he knows what's up. Of course he knows what's up. He's like right there directly on the front lines. But either way, like, it's like, can he say something? Can he not say something? If he does say something, is Tony Khan going to be petty? Is AEW going to be petty? Is New Japan going to be petty? Is all the snakes in the grass going to be petty? Like, that's the thing. Like, I feel like because the dirt sheets and Uncle Dave have blown everything out of proportion and, started rumors, started like lies and make everything all messy and like, there's dirty laundry everywhere. Sometimes we don't know where one truth may start and that truth may end up becoming a lie. It's just a personal thing. I just don't like Swerve. I'm just not a fan of him. That's all. I just not a fan. But if you're a fan, that's great. But I'm not a fan. But back to Gato. Lately Gato's tweets are more strange. The Rock promos. I mean, it does feel that way. It really does. But so, can Gato actually like say something or do something without getting like have repercussions and stuff like that? So this here, the spirit of mutual help is fundamental. So when we talk about mutual help, right, it basically means that the cooperation, I got it. Support and working together are essential principles in a given situation. It emphasizes the idea that people should assist each other whether in a community, workplace, or any collaborative effort to achieve shared goals and overcome challenges. AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling should be working together. Currently, New Japan Pro Wrestling, even though I don't like bringing money into it, that the yen is down, we know this, but the one big collaborative effort was during the Wrestle Kingdom week really, to which it was Stardom. I get it. No, had nothing to do with me or opinion of him. Just curious. Yeah, it's just one of those things, dude. That's all it is. But back to the whole Wrestle Kingdom thing. So we had Stardom, we had Wrestle Kingdom, we had Wrestle Dynasty, and then right after that, it was New Year's Dash. That whole big thing was a huge collaboration, and that should have been the peak of like making money, making new fans, and stretching out the market, and really collecting what they put their hard work into. But it turned out to be a fucking flop, and that's really like bad, because New Japan doesn't really do that. That's not an expectation of New Japan, and that is to flop on their own freaking creation. Other than Wrestle Dynasty was not their creation. That was Tony Khan's creation, and Tony Khan didn't even have the self-awareness to even be there. So him not being there is a total disrespect to his partners, and it's like nobody's questioning that. Nobody wants to know why he wasn't there, and I don't even know when the next media call is. I would definitely ask him if I had the chance to be like, hey, how come you weren't there in Japan? This was a really, really big deal. And to not show up is basically a lack of respect for their partners. So, that whole big collaborative thing could have been very, very beneficial for everyone involved, but it really wasn't. You had fans, and even local fans and international fans, stretch their wallet thin because they could not attend Stardom, Wrestle Kingdom, Wrestle Dynasty, and also New Year's Dash. So those that are over there who are already struggling, and those that have saved up their hard-earned money to go on this little vacation over to Japan to witness the spectacle that is Wrestle Kingdom, had to choose one of these events. Maybe two, but two be cutting it close. And that's the thing. Tony Khan does not understand what happens over there with the money in Japan, and how it affects the citizens, how it affects everybody else, and we're just like, oh, we're just gonna put it on, but it's not being beneficial. The tweet also suggests that success or progress isn't just about individual efforts. Individual effort is more New Japan putting in a lot more effort than AEW. And do not tell me that because AEW sent over Konosuke to Kesuka and he has a New Japan contract, that doesn't count. Does not count. By the way, he should not even be New Japan never openweight champion. Like, he needs to start from the bottom to gain some type of like foundation and story with him, and rather than just being in there and being all around. But fostering a culture where everyone contributes and benefits collectively. That is the mindset of Japan and Japanese culture, is that it fosters a culture of everybody contributing. Even if it's not your job, people in Japan would take it upon themselves to clean something. There are times where I'm watching videos on Japan because I really do love the culture and I love Japan and I would love to visit Japan, that there are times where people will do random acts of kindness and service and clean up their community by picking up trash that may have fallen or may have been there, and they do that. I believe that is a tiny bit of a job, but regardless, even if they're off duty, they'll still find a way to clean up their community. That is what Japan teaches everybody. However, over here in America, it's more about survival of the fittest, who could stab who, and who could fuck over who, and be yeah, I'm the king of this or I'm the queen of that. Sometimes we foster a community where we're all contributing and putting together our minds and creating something great. But for the most part, we just end up being like, nah, get off here. Originally, I was going to do the nah, bitch, get out. But, you guys get it. Um, to further say, that phrase that Gato uses often is used in discussions about teamwork, social responsibility, and community building. Things that Tony Khan really doesn't have. He doesn't understand teamwork, even though, he's part owner of the Jaguars and then also with analytics with the Jaguars. And the Jaguars still have not won anything in football. So, like, I guess that's that. That tells you a lot. Social responsibility. He does not understand social responsibility. He lets the dirt sheets run wild. He lets the dirt sheets drag people's names to the mud. He lets the dirt sheets air the dirty laundry. He allows them to do the he says she said bullshit and the hearsay, and Uncle Dave and him text as like little high school girls to be like, oh my god, tell me about this storyline. Oh my god, hologram is so great. You should do hologram versus beast mortals for the billionth time or whatever the case may be. Or then, when I call him out and be like, hey, why didn't you text Tony Khan about Ricky Starks to put him in the Continental Classic? You know? But yeah, the spirit of mutual help is fundamental according to Real Gato. Gato, I got you, dude. I got your back, okay? I got your back if anything goes down as well. But Gato's tweets reveal a lot more, and he tells it in the most simplest way, but there's a lot more that goes on with it, and there's a lot more weight to his tweets. Okay. New Japan doesn't want to upset the Nepo baby. Exactly. Maybe Tony don't want to put himself in a position that he may not be able to leverage to his benefit in person, having to actually navigate politically, and felt he had more leverage from afar. But even that, like, to pick up the phone and be like, oh my god, suspend him or whatever. Like, man, you gotta be in person. If we're gonna be partners on something and he wants to do Wrestle Dynasty and that's like his idea, his baby, like, and you're bringing that to the table so that way you could be like, all right, well, can we add this to the lineup of wrestling shows? Sure, you gotta show up. It's your idea. It's no one else's idea. It's your idea. You're presenting to the table. We are collaborating. I'm saying yes. So my event happens. Your event happens. You got to be there. Like you got to be there. Now I just thought about it because somebody's gonna be like, "Well, Triple H wasn't there." Blah 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 blah. He went to go do some family business, and a moment of your kid graduating is a once in a lifetime thing. Just like Wrestle Dynasty might just be a once in a lifetime thing in Japan because of how bad the numbers were and the ticket sales were, and they got less tickets than Wrestle Kingdom. So, he should have been there. Um, I love how you describe the Japanese culture of recipro- reciprocate. I know the word. It's just, I don't know. It absolutely explains why the New Japan unit system works so well, unlike most Western factions are so short lived. Yeah, man. Like, listen, the moment that, like, the main star in a US faction comes to the forefront, it's all like, we got to break them up now. In Japan, almost everybody has a spotlight, but there is certain people that are like the true main, the main character. Like Okada, for example, in Chaos, it's Okada. Um, Okada of New Japan Pro Wrestling, not Okada of AEW. Um, but yeah, he's too tied up in the micro to be strong or more efficient with the macro issues. Yeah. Okay. Let me make sure that in my folder that we don't have anything else to talk about. Because I do want to wrap up with the New Japan Cup. Um, I would like to quickly. This picture is big. I didn't realize how big this picture was. I would like to quickly call attention. I was gonna be like call quick, but I would like to quickly call attention to the picture that you guys see, the Legends and Future Greats. First of all, why did they have to name it the Legends and Future Greats? Because I just see LFG as let's fucking go. I don't know if they were in the writers' room and somebody brought that up, but man, if you brought it up, kudos to you because I was just like, let's fucking go. But no, it's Legends and Future Greats. Um, no spoilers in the chat right now, and no spoilers in the comment section, please. I would just like to say, as an announcement, that I will be watching episode 1, episode 2, and I will be reacting to these episodes. However, you do have to end up getting either a membership over at Fourth Wall or on Substack, because I don't want any of this stuff to like get taken down. You know, it'll be behind a paywall. I'm sorry. Most of my content is free. You guys know that I love having free conversations. I can't believe I have to say that phrase. But I have a lot of content that's free, and I rarely put stuff behind a paywall. But something like this, definitely needs to go behind a paywall. I am so sorry. Um, it's just a little. How can I say this? I was gonna say a little bit of encouragement, but I just want to let you guys know that my reactions to this, my breakdowns to this, will be over at Substack, Fourth Wall, and once we get into the YouTube partner program, it will be there too under like the members only section. And it's just a little way for you guys to help out the channel and stuff like that. Again, I'm sorry. Normally I should not be apologizing because I do want this as a business for me. And I do understand that people's wallets are like all over the place and their budgets are all over the place. And I think about your budget first. But for the most part, most of my content is like always free. The stuff that needs to be a little bit more in depth and a little bit more time consuming, that's the only thing that I will always ask for payment for. So, because I know how conversations can get about money involved and stuff like that. Uh, but just know that almost everything comes with like a discount. If you're over on the Twitch side of things, if you have a Twitch account, you can link your account to get a discount on the memberships. On Substack, the memberships have a discount as well. Yeah. I always try to look out for my fans and the consumers' wallet whenever they're dealing with my content. Um, just because I understand. I understand how it is to like not always support your favorite content creators, even though showing up, sharing, chatting with them, to me, that's awesome. That's great. I love that. But for something like this has to be a little bit more like tactical, if that makes sense. Um, do I, hold on. How do I do this? Um, I could just give you guys the thing. Obviously, no pressure, right? But I wanted to say this now so that way there's no confusion as to like what the fuck, right? Of course you'll get a preview, but yeah. Um the only reason why like I'm always scared to like talk about it is because I know people will say the most stupidest things, the most like hurtful things when someone's trying to make it full time. Even with just a little bit of like reacting to certain videos, breaking down wrestling videos and stuff like that, like all that shit helps. But I totally understand that everybody's wallet is different, everyone's budget is different. I'm always trying to find ways to accommodate people. If that makes sense. And if it does, let me know in the chat. Um, because I will just do it the best that I can. My whole thing is that like I love conversation and I love getting to know other people's perspectives and what they thought about um the show and stuff like that. But this takes me a while to do and edit. So, okay. Now that you know, I will be watching this because this is something that I want to react to. Unfortunately, it probably will be behind a paywall. The two links that I dropped in chat is where you can find the discounts for that. Yeah, I don't want to be mean with it either. Other people come out like very, very, very mean. Um, but I don't want to do that. Um, I don't. Okay. Again, that's gonna be there. The option is there. Um, yeah. You guys can tell that I'm not very comfortable about talking about like, hey, get this, so unlock this, but this is the reason why to do that. It just helps out the channel. It really does. Um, just remember that I don't sell you guys on gossip and lies in wrestling. I try to enrich and bring you guys as much value as I can in professional wrestling and talking about New Japan, AEW, WWE, and all like the fun shit. Um, I really don't like to get into gossip of anything because it's another hearsay kind of thing. And when you deal with hearsays, anybody could be like, oh, I'm suing you for libel. So we rather do things fun on here than that. My sinuses, man. Uh, there was another website I want to give you guys. Oh, uh, the way I have to remember all these websites. Um, and if you guys have not checked out the Wrestling Planet 2025, it is here. It is on Barnes and Nobles. Amazon is a pain in the ass. Okay, Amazon is a pain in the ass. So it's on Barnes and Nobles. If you want to get that too to support me, you can. It's basically a wrestling planner. So think about like a planner that you'll get for the beginning of the year, whether you're going to school, go to job, or whatever the case may be. And there's like a calendar in there. There's a 7-star match rating section. There's 2 notes sections. There is a travel budget if you're going to like travel in other places and stuff. Like it's all good. It's all cool shit. All right, wrestling planners in the chat, and the 2 ways you can get a membership, and whatnot. Uh, there's enough useless gossip out there. You provide interesting options and or insights. Nonsense. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, this is the last topic that we're going to be talking about. Unless anybody wants to throw in something else before we go into the New Japan Cup. Get it in chat now. Let me know. If not, we're going to go into the New Japan Cup, and then that will be the last topic for the night. Opinions. Opinions on what? Before we go into I guess it could just be opinions on the New Japan Cup. Cuz it's about to, me tell you the history. Not really the history. Not really the history of it. Um okay. So, the New Japan Cup is a single elimination tournament. So that means that once any of these wrestlers gets pinned and or submitted, they will be out of the New Japan Cup until we get one winner on March 20th. We're going to be starting March 7th. Oh, your corrections? Correcting? Well, I like to give opinions about, most things. So yeah, I like opinions. So we're starting March 7th. We're going all the way to March 20th. Again, the New Japan Cup for 2025 and all other New Japan Cups are basically single elimination. Pin, submission, you're out. The New Japan Cup, once somebody wins it, they do have the opportunity, if they want to challenge for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship title or maybe another championship title of their choosing. However, for the future, I would love this cup to be a little bit more important, the same way that we have the Super Juniors Cup and the tag, Super Junior tag and everything else. All those things should be very, very important in terms of like storytelling, because last year we had Yota Tsuji win the New Japan Cup. I bet you no one remembers that. And so I would have liked Tsuji to do something more with it or to use it in his story and stuff like that. So that way it just won't be another, like, what can feel to be like another throwaway kind of tournament. And as you can see here, on March 7th, we have Yota Tsuji versus Evil. Based on what happened at the New Beginning with Evil coming in, attacking both Yota Tsuji and Gabe Kidd, I honestly think that Evil is going to advance in this match in the opener of March 7th. So that way, on March 11th, he can face David Finlay. Now, as you can see, David Finlay is on the outside. Basically, the names that are on the outside, I'm going to call it the outside, are the buy-ins. David Finlay got himself a buy-in. Yoshihashi got himself a buy-in. Zack Sabre Jr. got himself a buy-in. Taichi got himself a buy-in. Shota got himself a buy-in. Jeff Cobb got himself a buy-in. TJP got himself a buy-in, and Shingo Takagi got himself a buy-in. Hey Denisha, what's up? Buy-ins are very important because as a wrestler who has a buy-in, they could just stay at home and rest. They could just watch the competition. So like I said, Evil is probably going to win over Yota Tsuji, because you know that we want Evil versus David Finlay. If Evil gets eliminated out of the New Japan Cup, that would be very evil of him. But does Evil need the win for the New Japan Cup? Does he need it? Then we have Yuya. Yuya should be fully recovered against Sonata. Ryohei versus Chase Owens. Chase, even though we don't talk about him on the channel, he may end up being the fall guy. But like, they should have put somebody else in there, like somebody else that needed a spot in the New Japan Cup. We're definitely not going to see no Zack Sabre Jr. versus Chase Owens. We could see Zack Sabre Jr. versus Ryohei. Um, you drank out of your New Japan cup and it leaked. Oh my god. Gabe Kidd versus Red Narita. There is some unfinished business there. Um, and then Taichi has a buy-in. See, this is where it gets a little bit difficult because I think Red Narita also has some issues with Taichi, even though Taichi wasn't really like involved in a bunch of weeks. With New Japan and like fighting, I know Taichi has an issue with Sonata. So I don't know. I don't know who will go over with like Gabe Kidd and Ren Narita. By the way, I love Ren Narita. El Phantasmo versus the Great Okan over on the other side where we go towards March 9th. Shota Umino wins this with a turn heel like Naito. All right, chat. Whoever is in chat, I really need your honest opinions, and I'll probably put this out like on social media if like someone reminds me. But I have a very love-hate, confusing sort of like thoughts about Shota Umino. My nose is like really stuffy, guys. And about like his character work, where is he going, his story, because Shota has it. It's just that it still needs to be polished. So in the chat, give me your opinions, and even in the comments below after this ends, what advantage, or you know what could a win for Shota Umino if he goes the distance, right? If he goes the distance and wins the whole entire New Japan Cup, how would that benefit him? What would that do for him? And like, what would be your opinion to it? Yeah, Javi, I get that. It's just that I need some more perspectives. Because, like I said, Shota is great. He has it. But he's not polished yet. And I don't like what they're doing with him. Especially, like, he had that match against the Great Okan. And he lost. And the Great Okan was about to shave his head, but again, in Japanese culture, in their traditions, Shota took it upon himself to give himself, that head shaving, and that's a sign of like respect, of like he understands he lost, he's gonna do it himself. So Shota shaving his head, right? I just feel like Shota's all over the place, even though I have high hopes for him. But there's nothing like concrete. It's very, very, So, I don't know. I don't know if chat feels the same way, or if you, on the VOD is watching this feels the same way. But like, if Shota was to win the whole entire New Japan Cup, what would that do for him? In your opinion, in your perspective, in like what you know, keep it kayfabe. But yeah. He's just a follower of that, dude. Like, I totally get that, and I've been saying that forever. I've been saying that forever. But like, see, this is the thing. After Shota Umino faced Claudio Castagnoli as a way of beating one of Jon Moxley's henchmen of the Death Riders, why is Shota Umino not in AEW to spend a couple weeks over there beating everybody in the Death Riders to get to Jon Moxley, to defeat Jon Moxley afterwards, so that way Shota can rid himself of the Death Riders so that way he can be one step closer to trying to figure out his own freaking character. I don't know how many times I have to say this. I don't know. But I'll say it to like somebody listens. And somebody can tell Shota this because like again, he has very great potential. He really does. And then the next thing on his order of business after like defeating Jon Moxley and taking him down, go after Tanahashi and take him down, and then now Shota can be whoever he wants to be and have a new gimmick maybe and find who Shota Umino is. Obviously, he's not going to be a referee. His father is a referee. That's Red Shoes. So, like, Shota Umino here needs to find himself, needs to find a character. That reminds me, the other topic I had wanted to talk about was that, like, I don't like it when certain wrestlers head over to AEW for like a one-off match and then we never see them again, and then they like come back like years later. It feels like years later. And it's like you have a story here. Shota called out Jon Moxley, didn't get a response for Jon Moxley, but got a response for Claudio Castagnoli. That is disrespectful right there because it's like, bro, no one's talking to you. We're talking to Jon Moxley. Like he wanted that match, not no secondary match. And so that story there never went over to AEW, and that would have been a better, bigger storyline in AEW with the Death Riders and Shota teaming up with Edge to learn a little bit, teaming up with Jay White to learn a little bit extra. You know, give Shota the tools to learn and be a bigger star, so that way after he's done with the Jon Moxley shit, he goes back to New Japan Pro Wrestling and it feels way better. Way better. Like, man, someone hire me to be their booker or their creative person, the one that thinks outside the box. Because, man. After that, we have Naito versus Callum Newman. I am a little bit hard on Callum because Callum wrestles like he's Osprey and he doesn't listen to like, bro, you can't be Osprey. Stop it. You got to find out who Callum Newman is. Jeff Cobb. Now, it might be Jeff Cobb versus Naito. I don't see Callum going over. Ishii versus Maloney. As much as I love these two, and Ishii has damaged his legacy by going over to AEW and losing every single time and almost dying because Kyle Fletcher does not understand gravity. Drilla Maloney is probably going to go over to face TJP. Drilla Maloney could win this because New Japan has been so behind Maloney. So I don't see why he shouldn't win it. Boltin Oleg versus Bad Luck Fale. I'm surprised Fale was even like, you know, considered to like come back. And then you got Shingo Takagi as a buy-in. Everybody hyped up Boltin Oleg, especially the number one New Japan person on in the community, which I think you guys should know. If I say his name, I'm gonna butcher his name, and not by, you know, malice or anything. It's just a really difficult name to say. Was very high on Boltin Oleg, and I'm like, there's nothing special about him other than like he has really amazing strength. And you know, he comes from a country that like we don't really see much wrestlers out of. However, this would be a great time to put him with Miro, aka Rusev. If you team up Rusev / Miro, however you want to call it, if you team him up with Boltin Oleg, that's it. Like, he'll learn how to be a really good wrestler like Miro and dominate and show his presence and the intimidation factor. Like, I think that if Boltin Oleg was to shadow Miro and learn how to, you know, understand his world, understand how to be a big, strong strength of a man in the world of wrestling and how to utilize it, like, Boltin Oleg and Miro is the way to go. Okay. Now that the names are out of the way, the stipulation is out of the way, and me just talking through, like, off the top of my head, like, who's gonna win and who may advance, and the whole Shota Umino thing, because, let's face it, Shota Umino needs, like, a really, I don't want to say bad shakeup, but Shota Umino needs a really good shakeup. A good shakeup. Yes, brain, a good shakeup. And really turn around his character. Because if not, Wrestling is going to pass him by. As far as a pick for who I would want to win the New Japan Cup this year, I am going to let New Japan Pro Wrestling surprise me. However, in the past, whenever New Japan Pro Wrestling surprises me, it's always the path that it's like, why the fuck are we going that way? I've learned not to predict things with New Japan Pro Wrestling because it never comes out how you predict it. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. For me, every single time we do like the G1, it never fucking happens. So for the New Japan Cup, I am going to let this whole thing surprise me. I will be, to the best of my ability, reviewing the New Japan Cup. So for all the matches that happen, I will be talking about it. I will be giving a review. All of those matches will be free to listen to because they are a podcast episode. So just to reiterate, whenever I do my own content, obviously this is my own content. Whenever I do my content, if it is a podcast episode under the Square Circle podcast, those are always going to be free because I love conversation. I love talking to people. If you guys don't know, if you guys are a fan of Spotify, Spotify now has comments. So if you want to go to Spotify, search Square Circle podcast by Marie Shadows and follow the channel, you'll never miss an episode when it goes live. With that being said, you can leave me a comment. You can vote in the polls because Spotify has now made it interactive. When I upload the episode to Spotify, it automatically uploads to youtube.com/Square Circle Podcast. And that is where you can also interact with it. Podcasts under the Square Circle podcast will always be free because I love the conversation. I love to read and see other people's perspectives and opinions and comment and chat with you guys. So that's not going to be behind a paywall, but anything that requires a little bit more time and in-depth and special care and value to will be behind a paywall. That's just how it's going to be. Like Tape Study series and also the Legends and Future Greats series as well, that will be behind a paywall. Again, no pressure, but yes, that's how I have my content. Let's go into chat very quickly. That's where Tony falls spectacularly short of expectations. He has so much built-in history to take from if he understood everything on a higher level and worked with New Japan Pro Wrestling in a way that allowed him to. Yes, that is true. But sometimes you have to really weave in the idea of taking wrestlers that already had built-in stories, such as the Shota Umino case, to over to AEW and explain like why this is happening and like all this kind of stuff. It could be done. It could be done though. Whether it's Shota, Aussie Open, B Club, etc., it's like Tony has the answers to the test right in front of him to improve his story telling by leaning on all the history until he could build his own. That is true. However, you got to be careful because then you'll be able to see like, it's a double-edged sword, but you're totally right. I remember in my earlier podcast episodes, I would say that like Tony Khan if he has all the money in the world, he has the blueprint of like what WWE is doing. He could just take it and put some spins on that blueprint. There is no shame in taking the blueprint that has been around for The years that WWE has been around, take that blueprint and do something different with it while keeping the fundamentals of how to build a story and how to keep people engaged. It's not about matches. It's not about work rate. And I also mentioned how, like, for some reason, in the past months, there has been this really overwhelming mindset from the AEW fans, the AEW cults that are out there, that all they want is just matches. Well, if you want just matches, leave your house and go to your local wrestling promotion and watch just matches, because the local wrestling promotions barely have story going from month to month to month to month to month. So if you just want matches, go support your local indie promotions. Their tickets are probably between $10, which is the less amount, to like 25 to 30, maybe 35 on a really good promotion. So again, if you just want to have matches, go to your local wrestling promotion and tell AEW to start doing what everyone should be doing. It's about storytelling, memories, cinema, while wrestling. Weave it all together. If WWE can do it, you could do it. If TNA could do it, you could do it. If MLW could do it, you could do it. And if New Japan Pro Wrestling can do it in their own unique style, you could fucking do it too. But no, Tony Khan is like, oh my God, I got the money. I got the sandbox. Who can I pay? Who can I gut from? And matches. Oh, we got some segments here. We got some segments. Oh, wrestlers could do what they want. And you wonder why the product is shit. And then you bring it over to New Japan Pro Wrestling, and New Japan Pro Wrestling is also falling in that shit. My passion here is to be like, bro, stop. Stop it. And these are the reasons why, with evidence. With putting two and two together, being a detective. It's not about hating on it. It's not hate. It's about trying to improve the wrestling business and the wrestling community through conversations, through having a perspective, through having an opinion, and to also just listening and being like, oh, that could be it. And it's also about giving back to the wrestling business and the industry and the community as well. TK only cares about recreating New Japan matches on AEW. Wait till he does Omega versus Okada Part 5. No, man. No, let's not do Omega versus Okada Part 5. Let's not do that. But we all know what's going to happen. The world building possibilities. What did I do? Okay. I didn't do anything. I'm good. The world building possibilities are right there and may even allow him to unearth something new and interesting that he could claim as his own if he puts the work in it. Yes, but he never put in work. He was given certain positions throughout his life. So it's like he doesn't know what putting in the work is. That's what happens with billionaires. Billionaires do not understand about putting in the work, because you get those positions. You're handed those positions. You talk to people. You fuck over people. You do all this shit to get to the position that you're in, but you don't know what it means to work for it. Not like everyone else in the world that like starts from nothing and builds something and they're proud of it and they understand the work. Work is work and is very hard and is very difficult. But if you love it and have a passion for it, it'll be the best thing in the world. This reminds me, this reminds me, I gotta watch Shingo wrestle Eric Stevens 2 miles from my house many years ago in FIP Ring of Honor, and met and hung out with most of the roster at Chili's. Oh, that's so cool, dude. I support Axiom since he was a kid here in Spain. Is he really good to see him? It's really good to see him reaching WWE. I like Axiom. I really do. I like Axiom and I like Nathan Frazier. I just think that we need new tag team champions in WWE. Absolutely. That's what wrestling has always been. No different than Punk utilizing the bones of Greg Valentine, Roddy Piper in his MJF feud, but it seems it's not just the way Tony consumed it. Yep. Okay. So, chat and the comment section. Let me know who you're choosing for the New Japan Cup. Like I said, I am going to let New Japan surprise me. I would like David Finlay to win. I would like Shota to win to see what kind of character progression we get to. If Evil wins, I just want to see the chaos. That's all I want to see. I want to see the chaos. Drilla Maloney is a fan favorite, and also New Japan Pro Wrestling is pushing him, which is not a bad thing. I love that New Japan Pro Wrestling is pushing him. New Japan Pro Wrestling, also please push Clark Connors too. Push them together. Like, give them everything. Drilla Maloney could be winning the New Japan Cup. Gabe Kidd could be winning the New Japan Cup. So, let me know who you guys got and put it down in a comment. And also, if you're here live, obviously I'll read it out. He didn't consume the storytelling part of it or absorb that part of it as much as he just consumed the in-ring back and forth, which he can recite like a human card. Yeah, dude, this year is too unpredictable. It is. It really is. So in chat, we have 2 for Gabe Kidd, and we have 1 for Shota Umino. Don't you love it? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think I covered a lot today on today's episode of the New Japan Cup and grabbing the money bag and giving my perspectives on like wrestlers should be able to get booked wherever they want to and get whatever money they need to get, but they also need to invest in themselves, like in stocks or some type of passive income, so that way they don't rely on the ATM of AEW. Also, I just think that it's a weird timeline situation that, you know, this will just be going down. I love Gabe Kidd. I love Clark Connors. I've interviewed Clark Connors in the past. That link to the interview will be down in the comments. In the comments of this video after it's done. My nose is like really bothering the hell out of me. Mike, you are very, very, very welcome, man. I hope that like by me explaining Bullet Club and the weirdness of Bullet Club, I hope that like cleared up some of the questions. But other than that, I had super, super fun having this stream talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling. Like the IWC is like super annoying when it comes to wanting to know wrestlers, but then be like dicks about it and like be horrible about it and not asking people who are very knowledgeable about like genuinely wanting to know and wanting to help out New Japan Pro Wrestling. And it's like, you guys can't just have one company. You know, and by the way, I've never said there should be only one company. There should be all the companies. Other than that, I'm gonna wrap things up because my nose is killing me. It's so stuffy. I need to like get a humidifier or whatever the case may be. But I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys want to, follow the channel, youtube.com/Square Circle Podcast. I said that so fast. YouTube.com/Square Circle Podcast. Hit that like button. That helps this video go out into the YouTube atmosphere a lot more. And then also hit that follow button as well. Leave a comment. Let's chat it up. There is the Substack, the wrestling newsletter that I have. There is follow me on Twitter. At Marie_Shadows. I have an Instagram. Follow that too. Let's see what else. Spotify. Find me on Spotify. Follow that channel. Support me everywhere. And again, I just want to take a moment to let you guys know that when the first LFG episode drops, there will be a preview for the videos and stuff like that. But it does have to be behind a paywall just because of like, it takes a little bit more time for me to sit down, record, edit, and react to it. and make sure that there's enough value in there for you guys. If you want to take a look at what I've done in the past for like the tape study series to get an idea for what you can expect on LFG, that'll be down in the comments as well. I just did a premiere for my tape study video of AJ Styles versus Marufuji. So it's similar to that. Those are free. There's a lot of free content that I have on there, but I'm just asking for this to be behind a paywall because it will probably get copyrighted. That's what it is. And I do not want that. And if you want to support me directly, that's a way to do it. To get that content, to get those insights, and really like appreciate what they do. Because there is one little during like the videos that they put out, especially with Mickie James training the girls, I'm gonna give her all the praise in the world for telling the girls like, hey, you don't always have to do a collar and elbow tie up and then break out of it and then do a headlock and then do a wrist lock and a hammer lock, and they don't have to go through all of the steps that are taught in the wrestling school, and that the way that Mickie was teaching them, like, hey, you could start with a collar and elbow tie up and then you could do the struggle. Because remember, guys, that like when a collar and elbow happens, right, it's supposed to be a struggle. It's supposed to be like two animals that have horns, like bulls or anything out there. They'll lock up like this and they'll have that struggle, right? That's exactly what a collar and elbow tie-up is supposed to represent in the wrestling ring of professional wrestling. It's supposed to have a struggle. So it was a good thing that she taught them that and was like, yo, you can do that. It doesn't have to follow the same exact formula that all the guys like follow in the wrestling business. Like, you don't have to do that. You can break out, do that, take her down to the ground and like try to do something there to have like, you know, grappling. That's the best way to introduce the word graps or grappling, when you take them down like that while you still have the collar and elbow tie up, and then try some other ways to get out of it, and then bam, maybe go back up to like a standing position or something like that. But yeah, that's the reason why I'm saying that the Legends, Future, and Greats will be behind a paywall, because that's the in-depth sort of thought process that I get into, and I love doing the in-depth thought process with these videos. So it takes a little bit longer to do. So I hope that you guys can support me with that. Again, I will explain it all in the comment section. It might take a little while for me to do it because I want to go and relax after this. But that is the reason why that would be behind a paywall, because that takes a little bit more to get into the mindset and explain certain things that the coaches are not going to give, straight out. It's what I love. It's honestly what I love to do, and it's to break down wrestling matches. It's to break down other stuff, the psychology of like why this happens, why that happens, what can we compare it to, what can we not compare it to, stuff like that. Like, I love that shit. And I hope you guys love it too. And I hope that you guys like enjoy all this shit. It's totally okay if I don't have like a higher reach. It's totally okay if I don't have like tons and tons of fans. We're getting there, guys. We are getting there together. And that's what I love. We're getting there together. By the way, like I said, we are almost close to the YouTube partnership. We are currently at 2,831 watch time hours out of 3,000. So we are getting there. Thank you everybody that joined. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys learned something. If you did, drop it in the comments once I end the stream. But I will see you next time. Stay tuned to all of my socials to when I'll go live again. Most likely, I could tell you that like during this week will be all individual videos and stuff on the newsletter. So if you want to stay up to date with me, make sure to look at all the links. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with me.